Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Riley playing with Kikuki here again with another video, and this is the political pondering, but we are still in 2015, believe it or not. It is actually 9:42 p.m. Pacific time, so Happy New Year's in a few minutes or hours or wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you're in Australia, you're already a day ahead or whatever. Anyways, political pondering. This is where we talk about news stories and politics and just current events and all that stuff from a unbiased but a liberal progressive point of view. So, even though I'm a liberal progressive, I'll try to be as unbiased as possible. This isn't bought and paid for. This is all, fact checked. May contain, satirical humor and all that stuff. And yeah, this is all about honesty and just pointing out the facts how they are. So yeah, this video is going to be about, get this, communism versus capitalism. That's right, that's a very touchy subject. There's a whole war, I guess you can call, about it, the Cold War. And to simplify what the definitions of these systems are, is basically capitalism is all like, it's a free market and you could do pretty much whatever you want, or pretty much do whatever you want to be able to make money. Of course, there are some things that are illegal. I'm pretty sure you can't legally, deal drugs and all that stuff. But for the most part, it's basically a nice open market. You can have a high wealthy class, the 1% that rule all of the money and have billions of dollars, and then everyone else can be, in poverty. And communism is supposed to be a system which I believe, I don't know about the whole government part, but the government has all of the money and resources and distributes it amongst the people evenly, so everyone has a decent amount to live. Now, the problem with communism basically is that the system works where you have, the government having access to all the resources and distributes it, but this can lead to the government being corrupt, because you need to remember they have all of the resources. And basically what can happen is you can have like in the Soviet Union, where everybody was paid equally dick. And another problem with communism, and this is the number one thing that I hear whenever people talk about the negativity of communism, is basically there's no incentive to actually, do harder jobs, because you have people like doctors and vets who will be paid just as much as, somebody who works at as a grave digger or whatever, right? Because that's the whole point of it, is that everybody's supposed to be paid equally. Now, what I believe they did in the Soviet Union, I'm not too sure, but what I believe they did was that they actually had people pick jobs for them. Like, and I think they did it based on your skills or whatever. Like, if you were stronger, then I think you were a carpenter and stuff like that. Or if you were smarter, then they would make you a doctor and a scientist and all that stuff. And this works, but this really takes away the whole point of freedom. That's the number one argument of communism, is that there's no freedom. Whereas capitalism is all about freedom. You can be rich, you can have, the Xbox, TV, and all that stuff. Or you can be poor as tits and have basically nothing. So you can be free, but this can screw over a lot of people. So leave your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you prefer? Do you believe that everybody should be, equally paid and all that stuff with communism, or do you think that you like the way it is right now in the U.S., or Canada, wherever you are, where, there's a free market, basically, and you can be rich, or you can be poor, and you can have like a high rich class that has all of the money, while pretty much everyone else is poor and has to scramble for their life. Now, I used to be a capitalist, basically. I really believed in the whole free market thing. But my number one candidate, now I know I'm Canadian, but my number one candidate, the guy that I want to win in the US, is Bernie Sanders. And of course, he's the Democratic Socialist. And what is socialism? Basically, it's a mix of communism and capitalism. And I know my camera probably froze at one point during this, I guarantee. Maybe it didn't, who knows. But basically, it's like you have capitalism, but all of the rich people, but you pay more taxes based on how rich you are. I believe that's the dummy explanation for it, basically. So the richer you are, the more you pay. So you can have, the whole free market part of capitalism, but you can actually have, everyone at least stands a chance and can pretty much be balanced to a middle class. And that's why I like socialism, because when I turned, let's see, about 13 or 14, I really started getting interested into communism. I was not a communist. Don't worry, you don't have to fear the Red Menace. But I was just like, I like capitalism, but that's why I consider myself a socialist. But leave your comments down below. What do you like better? Capitalism, where you have a free market, but this leads to corruption and greed, or communism, where it leads to equality, but there can also be, tyranny, and there's no freedom as to what career you have. This has been Riley the Flame Wookie Cookie. I'm gonna catch you guys next time.